Well, yep, it is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Baldy-in-Chief, Texas Storm Chasers, whatever I'm supposed to say, David Reimer. It must be a out-of-order Friday because clearly I have no idea what this intro was supposed to be because I completely butchered it. But guess what? It's Friday, so you get to enjoy the randomness with me. In other news, guess what? We've got more showers and storms heading into the weekend, and next week, into the 1st of September, well, guess what? We've actually got some interesting weather to talk about. Let's do that in this Friday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Yes, sirree, Bob. It is Friday, the 22nd of August, 2025. Thank you for joining us here on the Texas Weather Roundup and for taking time out of your busy day. It is that time of the video where I get to say, like this video, click subscribe. You can click the bell if you want. I never mentioned that because I'm not that great of a marketer. So, yes, sirree, Bob, let's get on with the video. And yes, by the way, I've got a hat. You see this hat? I've been told I need to promote the hat because, well, my better half is tired of having hats stacked around the house. So, if you want a hat, woo, you can get your own Texas Storm Chasers hat. Mine's completely sweat-soaked, but that's okay. It just means getting on the treadmill like I'm supposed to and being a good Baldy-in-Chief. Let's talk about the weather. And guess what? Yes, we've already got scattered showers and storms this morning across southeast Texas, even a few pop-ups underway in North Texas because clearly no one can have a good aviation day here in the state this year because I think most of the airline operations have been disrupted more days than not this summer. As someone who got to spend a night in DFW Airport a couple weeks ago because of that, I can attest. So, my apologies. Mother Nature is not being very kind when it comes to airline operations. We've got storms around the Houston Tracon. We've got scattered convection around DFW already this morning, which is just making a mess of things. So, P.S. When thunder roars, get your keister indoors, as all these storms will continue producing dangerous cloud ground lightning, gusty winds, and whatnot. As you can see, we got plenty of storms already underway southeast Texas, right off the Texas Gulf Coast, and that's only going to increase as we get into the peak heating this afternoon. Let's take a look at the high-res rapid refresh radar. Guess what? Southeastern half of the state, scattered thunderstorms this afternoon once again, but like last night, hopefully, most of that activity will go right around sunset or shortly thereafter. That being said, you can see this model does have activity continuing near the coast and off the coast into the Gulf well into the night. So, nice lightning show if you're on the beach. Do not be on the beach when the lightning is close enough to strike you, please. When thunder roars, get your keister indoors. Tomorrow afternoon, another round of pop-up isolated scattered showers and storms into the afternoon hours, southeastern half of the state, down to the Rio Grande Plains, parts of the coast. But you can also see we're starting to see a bit of a pattern change up in Oklahoma, the Panhandle, New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, with convection increasing there. And that is going to be the result of an upcoming weather pattern change, which isn't necessarily too common for us here in the summer months. But Mama Nature's going to do what Mama Nature's going to do, and we're going to talk more about that in just a moment. Fire weather outlook from the Texas A&M Forest Service. Guess what? Moderate fire danger across the state. Even though we've seen a bit more precipitation over the last week or so, most folks are not seeing rain. And because it's summer, grasses have kind of gotten a little crunchy and dormant. They tend to burn more easily. So please do not set your fence on fire, your house on fire, your neighbor's house on fire, or do anything that could be, even remotely close to infringing on that possibility. Clearly, it's Friday. My brain doesn't work well on Fridays, so we're going with the flow, and because of that, you get Baldy-in-Chiefisms galore. In terms of the tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center, guess what? Pick your lemon, pick your orange, pick your cherry, and pick Aaron. There's plenty to discuss. Aaron is now moving northeast down to the North Atlantic, beginning its extratropical transition from a warm core system, aka hurricane, into more of a typical mid-latitudinal system with different meteorological characteristics that 99.9% of you do not care about, and that is perfectly okay. The clear indication, though, is it's going bye-bye. There's still dangerous rip currents, nasty coastal beach erosion, etc., continuing for the northeastern United States through tonight. We've got a cherry down there northeast of the Lesser Antilles. That's already getting turned northeast away from the mainland United States. Could bring some wave action to Bermuda. Otherwise, it's a fish storm. The lemon, the little red, me and colors don't go well. The yellow X out there in the open Atlantic, nothing to worry about. Little orange down there, way east of the Lesser Antilles, way down there at about 10 degrees north, a low-latitude system. It's going to be moving west through some dry air over the next few days, which could just completely destroy the thing. But if it manages to make it through the dry air, it may encounter a slightly more favorable air mass for development as it approaches the Lesser Antilles. Boy, next week. But even if it does develop, most data suggests it's going to remain a Caribbean system and probably make landfall way south in the southern Caribbean. It's not an issue for us in the Gulf. It's not an issue for the Yucatan, and it's certainly not an issue for us in Texas, as the upcoming pattern change is going to deflect any of that for a while. Here is a look at the upper air pattern, 500 millibars from the European weather model, around 18,500 feet above sea level, jet stream level. And this is our way of being able to determine, one, what the overall pattern is going to be, and two, where's the heat dome setting up in the summer months, and then three, most other times of the year, do we have any upper-level storm systems kicking in? Well, the next couple of days, you can see we're going to have heat dome set up over the southwestern United States. It's going to break down a little bit as we see the first big-time upper-level trough of the late summer kick into the northeastern United States. That's going to push a pretty decent cold front with a lot of continentally dry air across the eastern half of the United States, bringing an end to the tropical moisture and humidity for a lot of folks out there. As we kind of get into early next week, heat dome tries to build in a little bit across southern Texas, and then if this is right, heading into the second half of next week, things are going to actually get a little interesting because another upper-level trough tries to kick in that pushes that ridge down towards Baja California. And if this is right, we're going to set up a northwest flow continuation, which could bring in another cool front, more rain chances. Overall, this is a pretty active look for the end of August here across the eastern United States and even parts of Texas, with cooler weather, with a stalled cold front up in the northern parts of the state, and a multi-day chance of precipitation. See, words are difficult. Let's take a look at the European weather model. Maybe if we're lucky, this will start at the beginning. No, life isn't lucky sometimes. Here, let's do this. You know, buttons are useful, buttons are neat, but even this button doesn't want me to play. I don't know, make a rhyme. Anyway, as we go into early next week, the weekend, Sunday, Monday, we're going to see scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms set up shop across the Panhandle, Oklahoma, even parts of the Red River Valley. And the potential certainly exists. We could have multiple rounds of heavier rain. We could see, a good 1 to 3 inches of rain with locally higher amounts across the Panhandle heading into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There's the threat. We could see a few storms with gusty winds, maybe some hail, along with locally heavy rain that could cause some flooding, especially after we see multiple rounds of precipitation up in the Panhandle early next week. Going into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you could see scattered showers and storms remain possible in other regions of Texas as well. Without the upper-level heat dome overhead, things generally are going to remain active for August. It's definitely not like the last several years where we've been hot and dry for weeks on end. Not this year. So these daily thunderstorm chances are going to continue, and a more focused area of potentially heavier rain possible in the Panhandle. As we go into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, we could easily see rain chances actually expand across the northern half of the state, a more sustained round, perhaps, of decent rain chances. And, we may end August with a decent amount of rain for some folks and cooler temperatures, which we're going to talk about right now. Here's today's high temperature forecast. Not cooler by any stretch of the imagination, but still, given the fact it is late August, highs in the low to mid 90s, really not bad. Even, upper 90s, South Texas, you're noticing the lack of triple digits here. We'll take it, right? That's not too bad. Going into Saturday, things do get a little warmer up in North Texas. You can see back to about 97 in DFW, 96 in Abilene, 96 in Texarkana. Look, it's August. It's going to be in the 90s. If it's not in the 90s, it's usually 105. So, I mean, overall, this isn't bad compared to what it normally is, at least the last few years. Sunday, same thing, mostly in the 90s across Texas, highs in the upper 80s there in the Davis and Guadalupe Mountains up in the higher terrain. But here comes a change. Monday, cold front with rain chances pushing south into Oklahoma, the Panhandle of Texas. A high of 79 in Perryton on Monday in the Panhandle. How about this? Tuesday, 71 degrees for high temperature in Perryton up in the northern Panhandle, 73 in Pampa, 76 in Amarillo, 88 in Lubbock, 83 in Wichita Falls, 84 in both Gainesville, Sherman over to Paris, and Texarkana, a high of 88 in DFW. Now, southern two-thirds of the state, it's still warm to hot. Highs in the 90s, 100 in Laredo as this cold front stalls out, but that's a pretty impressive cold front by August standards, that's for sure. And, you know, there is some hope, maybe. Second half of next week, we may be able to get another little cool front down this way. Regardless, again, with the increase in precipitation chances heading into next week, with that cool front and the lack of a heat dome overhead, we may easily see cooler temperatures spread further south as well, even if it is caused by afternoon rain showers. So, Climate Prediction Center outlook for the final days of August, below average temperatures. Northern half of the state of Texas, across the plains, the Mid-South, the Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Northeast, into the Southeast and the Southwest. How about we just go who's warmer? South Texas, you're not going to get much heat relief from this, I'm afraid. Pacific Northwest, hot. Florida, staying hot. Precipitation outlook, wetter than average across the entire state of Texas, pretty much, for the final days of August. So, it's been a weird summer, but you know, you just got to go with the flow. And, you know, I'm not usually one for seasonal outlooks, climate outlooks, etc., because we have enough issues trying to figure out the weather 10 days in advance. But, boy, has it been a weird summer, right? It's definitely weird. We'll see what happens this fall. What's going on now, by the way, probably has no relation on to what's going to happen this fall or winter, because the atmosphere is dynamic. Things change. La Nina watch in effect. So that typically is a bit drier and warmer heading into the cool season. But, yeah, we'll see, right? Otherwise, guess what? It's Friday, which means it's time to give a shout-out here to our Spinny Doomer members here on the Texas Weather Center. A big thank you to Anthony R. Pelosi Jr., Christina West, Deanna, Donald Yellett, J.A., Jennifer, Texas girl up north in Wyoming, who's also one of our amazing moderators. Justin S. Love, Live, Laugh. Manda Cakes. Mandy Kim. See, that's why I always get confused. Mike Rich. Nancy Rosenberg. Netgear. Knight Davis. North Texas Weather. Paranoid Pocho. r/Tornado Chats, which, by the way, you may have seen him in the chat. He's known as Scott, one of our amazing moderators as well. Rascal ZX2, Ryan Tucker, S00 Patique, Sarah Schmidt, Tanya McGee, and Wendy Hall. Thank you, y'all, for being Spinny Doomer members here on the Texas Weather Center. We are going to assume the typical schedule here, where weather roundup videos are not guaranteed this weekend, but we might put some stuff out. Many of us here are on vacation, getting in some days before the busy fall season kicks in, so we'll be a little less active this weekend. So always, you can keep an eye on the sky. Free Texas Storm Chasers interactive weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar. The free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. And, of course, we are on social media. And for those of you folks who are members here, helping support us on the YouTube channel, make sure you head over to our members-only Discord server. That's it. Y'all have an amazing Friday. We'll keep an eye on the storms. Remember, when thunder roars, get your keys to indoors. Have an amazing day, and God bless.